Are you ready to start making 2025 real? I mean, are you ready to really start laying the groundwork for all of the victory that you're going to experience in 2025? Let's get at it. I mean, why should we wait until the end of December to start talking about what we're going to do in January? The time to get ready is really right now, I would suggest. And so I wanted to make a couple of pointers, just drop a couple pointers in this regard. I'm doing this myself, and so I like having you around to do it with me as a part of the community, because we're going to level up together. If you're in, please type in the comments, I'm in. Now, the first thing I want to recommend is to think about where you want to go. Really think about, what does 10x look like to you? Go deep in your mind. What are you envisioning? Really think about this. If you have to take your calculator out and do some calculations, let's do that. If you need to take your pen and pencil out, and I do recommend that, I do recommend that you write it down, read it, say it out loud, and then live it, right? That's my formula for success. I want you to figure out what that is and really hold on to it in your mind. We don't need to do a lot of emoting about it, but it's helpful if we know what it is. A lot of times we set goals that are vague and they're too modest, and then we either don't move anywhere because we haven't given ourselves a place to go because our goals are vague, or we set modest goals and then we don't get a chance to really enjoy a lot of the victory that we could. Okay, we're missing out on some opportunities. So we're gonna not just make vague or modest goals. We're talking about some significant life-changing goals, or else what's the point if it doesn't really change our life, right? So I really want you to go deep with this. Talk to your family member about it. It's not something that you talk to a whole bunch of people about. And the main reason I don't want to suggest talking to too many people is that you don't really want or need necessarily a whole bunch of opinions and a whole bunch of judgments and a whole bunch of reactions on things that are your dreams, right? So I just recommend having this discussion perhaps with somebody that you dream with already anyway, and somebody whose life will be impacted by you reaching your goals and you going for your goals. I talk about it with my wife because we work together, and so she knows what I'm doing when I'm digging in and rolling my sleeves up. So really come up with this in your mind, make it very discreet, not so much that, okay, it has to be this way, it has to be that way, not that kind of energy that adds resistance into the mix. What we want to be able to do is know what it is. Now, suppose this is just a suppose we want to make 10 times more money than we make right now, and I'm only using money because it's easy to multiply times 10. Figure out what that is and write it down. Would that change your life? Absolutely. That's why we want to talk about it. If it won't change our life, why talk about it, right? So write that down. Figure it out, write it down, and then at least we should be able to remember it in a week, next month, okay? But number one, write it and then be able to read it, okay? Then say it out loud in your own private space, okay? And then, that's the first step, okay? Just figure out what that is. Now, the second thing that I want to recommend, now this kind of video is sometimes, a little challenging because I am recommending this right now because it's this time of the year, right? And now we could use this information any time of the year. However, it's very advantageous to use it right now, all right? Now, the second thing I want to recommend you do is to declutter. Declutter your space, declutter your life, declutter your car, declutter your desk, your bedroom, kitchen, your refrigerator. Get rid of that stuff. Your closets. Okay, basically what you want to do is deconstruct your old habits that have everything to do with your current lifestyle that you want to graduate from. All right, you want to declutter. Now, we're not going to make life difficult so much for ourselves so that we can't even drive to work tomorrow, things like that, right? But we want to declutter, okay? And everything that we are looking at and leaning on and that is there to help us to keep doing what we are doing. Basically, what we want to do is to make some decisions where we can be disruptive, where we can be personally disruptive to ourselves, but also to our old habits, to the lifestyle that we want to graduate from. Okay, so now that's the second step. Get rid of that clutter. Okay, now the next step is to construct. All right, now we're going to start talking about what other coping mechanisms are we going to have. At some point, if we're going to make some health-related challenges and we declutter all the things that we lean on in the refrigerator, well then when we construct the road that takes us where we want to go, we're going to think through it and we're going to replace a lot of what we took out with new coping mechanisms. Are they eggs? Are they vegetables like cucumbers and lettuce and tomatoes and peppers and onions and let's say beans? I'm just thinking about what we can use that's low calorie and protein. All right, it's going to be chicken. These are problem solving techniques. It's going to be boiled eggs. Are we going to be drinking coffee? Are we going to be using sugar substitutes? Are we going to be using beverages that we can just pour some powder in a drink in water and then shake it and drink it and hardly have any calories? Whatever that means for you to help us to get where we want to go, we'll then start to construct the road that gets you there. Will it be certain books that you're going to look at? Would it be certain communities that you're going to be now hanging out with? Okay, you can link up with communities online and start getting information coming at you 360 degrees for free. Okay, basically people sharing their perspectives and experiences. All right, mostly what we're talking about is lining the road that takes us where we want to go. Alignment, right? We're talking about people, places, and things that will take us where we want to go. All right, so I hope that makes sense. And by the time then, when the new year starts, we'll be ready to live it. We'll be ready to live that life. I mean, basically, when we start putting it together, we are planning that life. But when we then that clock strikes, we can start living it, and it'll be easy because we have thought it through. We've done the problem solving in our mind. Okay, so now again, the first step is really getting a good vision, envisioning it, okay, and writing it down so we can see it. All right, and then say it. All right, we're gonna actually write it and then read it and then say it, then ultimately live it. All right, but first is having it in our mind and really being able to take a look, okay? Getting that picture, figuring out what is 10X for us. Is it in our personal life? Is it in our career life, financial life, relationship life, physical health life? Figure out what that is, all right? Second step, get rid of the clutter, all right? Deconstruct that old road that keeps us where we are right now because we want to be able to graduate. So we're going to construct a new road. All right, so now I think that's a good piece. That works for me a lot. A lot of times when I start cleaning my car, and at the end of the week, when I start cleaning up spaces and decluttering, I'm getting ready for a new week. And so this is something that I do quite regularly to keep myself moving in a direction that I personally want to go. And so I'm sharing that. If you feel like that has some value, if you like this information, let me know by clicking the like button. And if you think that somebody can use this information, if there's somebody that you're working with, all right, somebody that you're going to have as an accountability partner and for whom you will be an accountability partner, share this with them. I can't wait to hear about your success. If you're feeling this, let me know. Again, Dr. Sean here. Thanks again for your contribution and your participation, your presence here in this 10X community. And I look forward to being a part of and witnessing your victory. Keep winning, guys. Take care.